welcome to Einstein is in my kitchen, and I'm Savvy, and today I'll be recreating a unicorn.
Salutations, I'm Savvy. Sorry for the intro, I got a little bit tongue-tied. Anyway, today on Einstein is in my kitchen, we're going to recreate a unicorn cake by the Crumbs Doilies cake shop. So, keep on watching.
So, first we're going to make a vanilla sponge. And I'm going to take all the ingredients will be linked down below. And I'm taking 2 sticks of butter and putting it straight into the bowl. Next, I'm going to be using a hand mixer and just trying to get the butter nice and fluffy. This is quite soft butter. Butter is pretty fluffy now. It's a lot paler than it was before I whipped it up. And I'm taking 2 cups of granulated sugar, and I'm going to cream the butter and the sugar together. Very fluffy now. And add the eggs. Normally this is done when fluffing the butter. We need 5 eggs. 4. 5. Push that to the side. Heat in the 5 eggs. I'm going to take our cup of milk, just 1 cup, and I have 3 different types of vanilla. I have vanilla paste, butter vanilla emulsion, and then pure vanilla extract. And so I'm just going to eyeball it, and I like to use the little cap of the vanilla, which is about half a teaspoon. I'm going to put, I guess, 3 caps straight in here. And then I'm going to take roughly, I guess, half a teaspoon of this butter vanilla emulsion. And then we're going to attempt to scrape out the little vanilla out of here. Okay, so I got all my vanilla into my milk. We have the fluffy butter sugar mixture and 2 cups of flour. Into that 2 cups of flour, we need 1 tablespoon, not teaspoon, of baking powder. And at this step, I like to preheat my oven to 325 Fahrenheit. Okay, we're gonna slowly mix in the baking powder, then add half of the flour mixture straight into the butter mixture, and eat it. Now add all the wet mixture in. I'm going to take a spatula to get the little vanilla seeds from the vanilla paste in. Okay, so batter is looking batter-y. Now, last of the flour. Scrape the sides of the bowl to make sure there's not any flour or butter that's stuck underneath it. And then mix on medium-high for less than 30 seconds, continuously stirring, and no gluten should develop more in one area, more smooth than before you do it. So now we're going to grease our pans and bake our cake. I like to grease my pans with Baker Joy spray. Just go distributing the batter into 3 pans so that it'll bake faster and I'll get shorter layers. I always take a little cloth just to smooth out all of the air bubbles and where it's not really spread evenly for the spray.
Distribute the finished batter among 3 pans, smooth out the surface, and tap out the excess air bubbles. Then place the pans in the oven and set a halfway timer for around 30 minutes.
Now I'm making a simple syrup with elderflower and lemon, which is going to be put in between the layers of the cake. So here I have a 1/4 cup water to 3/4 cup granulated sugar, and now I'm going to take a little bit of lemon zest and some lemon juice straight into the pot. Onto the stove. While the syrup is on the stove, we are going to make some Swiss meringue buttercream using Cupcake Jemma's recipe. Right here I have a mixing bowl for my stand-up mixer, and it's metal. 4 egg whites straight into the bowl. Okay, that's 4 egg whites, 4 egg yolks, 300 grams of granulated sugar, I'm going to take my whisk from my stand-up mixer and just kind of combine the sugar and the egg whites a little bit more.
Now it's time for voiceover time. For the sake of the length of the video, I decided to stop talking and start working. Cut and cube 400 grams of softened unsalted butter. It's around 3.5 sticks. Bring your egg white and sugar mixture over to the stove and place it on a pot of simmering water to make a double boiler. Whisk continuously to dissolve the sugar. A test is to take a little bit of the mixture and pinch it between your fingers. If you feel any sugar granules, you still have some whisking to go. With my eye still on the egg white sugar mixture, just to make sure it doesn't cook into a giant blob, I whisk the simple syrup to fully dissolve the sugar.
We're going to take this off the hot water, put it here, and just let it cool for about a minute before we do anything with it.
With the syrup thickened and the sugar completely dissolved, I got some elderflower from the trees surrounding my house, and I washed them off a bit. Then I put them in a little bowl, and I poured half of the syrup in them to steep like tea. In the area where I live, there are a lot of wild elder trees. Typically, you can find in Scandinavian and English recipes uses of elderflower and elderberry. When making this syrup, though, also known as elderflower cordial, it's important not to cook the actual elderflower, but only to steep it, or else the taste of the syrup may be quite bitter.
I've let our egg mixture cool down just a bit, taking the whisk attachment, and we're going to increase the speed from low to high and whip it into a nice fluffy meringue. The cakes are out of the oven, and now I have steeped the elderflower for about 30 minutes. I'm just going to go ahead and sieve it straight into our lemon syrup, just like that. There we go. Press out the flavor, and we have made our syrup.
After taking them out of the oven, I let the cakes cool in their tins for around 15 minutes. Then, taking an offset spatula, you can also use a knife, I ran around the edges of the cake and turned them out onto a cooling rack. To speed up the process, you can put the cakes in the fridge, or leave them out on the counter until they're completely cool to touch.
That our meringue is whipped up, I'm taking out this attachment and putting in a paddle attachment. I'm getting our enormous tower
of butter, and we're slowly going to add 1 piece of cube butter at a time, just like this. Add the next piece. A spatula is an absolute necessity when making icing, because if you want your icing to be all uniform and taste very light and fluffy, it's important to scrape down all the ingredients from the side of the bowl. So after I added in all the butter and mixed them thoroughly, I scraped down the sides of the bowl and then put the bowl back in the mixer and beat it on high with the paddle attachment to get rid of any excess air bubbles or still remaining lumps in butter. The frosting after that second beating looks so much smoother.
Okay, so everything is ready now. We have our frosting, we have our syrup, and we have our cake, which is nice and cool. If you watch the unicorn cake video by Cupcake Jemma, you'll see that there are 4 different colors of frosting. Today I'm only going to be using 3 colors, which are pink, yellow, and blue. So I am taking little bits of the frosting, and I will color them into the specific colors.
Use around 2 to 3 drops of food coloring for each frosting color. Make sure to mix the food coloring in very well. So conveniently on the day of filming, I ran out of my plastic piping bags, so I just used some Ziploc bags and used the cup method to fill them full of our 3 different frosting colors. Ideally, you would want to use a large circular piping tip, but I just went in and filled up the bags. Using a thin serrated knife, cut off any uneven edges or crispy parts on top of each cake layer.
I'm taking some of my white frosting that I still have in the bowl, and on a cake board, I'm just putting a little dollop, kind of like blue cake like this. Find the symmetry. I'm taking, now that all the cakes are leveled off, I'm taking our elderberry lemon syrup, and I'm just dipping a pastry brush or a glazing brush straight into it and covering the top. And I'm also going to put a little bit on the sides just in case the crumbs are a bit hard. And just build a little circle on the outside.
The order was yellow, blue, pink, yellow, blue, pink, yellow, blue, pink.
Next, get the next cake, which looks even. We're going to repeat with our elderflower syrup on top of the cake. And on the sides.
After all the layers of the cake were on, I put a thin coat of syrup all over the cake. Then I made the crumb coat, which is basically a thin layer of frosting which keeps the crumbs from surfacing to our last final layer of frosting.
After the crumb coat is completed, chill in the fridge for 20 minutes or even up to a couple of hours. The cake has chilled for about 2 hours just because I had to go run off and do something else. So now it's time to do everyone's favorite part of the cake, the ombre. So I'm going to do blue, yellow, then pink. Kind of like a rainbow, I guess. I'm taking a good size amount of blue frosting on my offset spatula, and I'm just placing it on the side, try to keep it like at a good level. And I want to do this quickly, so I'm not going to rub it in all the way. I'm just going to kind of place it there. So let's keep going. Now that blue's done, I'm going to move on to yellow. So the yellow layer is complete. Now it's time for the pink layer. And now I have a little cake scraper leveler thingy, and it has a really straight edge. You can also use stuff that don't look as fancy as this, like something that's made out of cardboard. So I have a little scratch piece of baking paper here, or parchment paper, and I am just going to hold this straight against the cake and wipe off all the excess, and it should blend the colors together. Let's do this.
As you can see, somewhere along the way I switched to my offset spatula because the bench scraper was a little bit uncomfortable. Also, in places where the icing was a bit too sheer, I placed some more and then smoothed it out again.
In the original cake, there is a white chocolate ganache which drips down, but I prefer the taste of darker chocolate. So I have some semi-sweet chocolate morsels, and I'm just going to put them for 30-second increments in the microwave, mix it up until I get a smooth consistency. Now, while the chocolate's still working, I'm going to take my little handheld airbrush because there's fine disco dust all over the cake, but I don't have disco dust. I only have this pearlescent liquid glitter. I think that's what it's called. It's by the Sweet Shop, and it's an airbrush color in pearl. I'm going to pour this whole little cartridge full. Then I'm going to turn on my airbrush to high, and I'm going to spray the whole thing with glitter. Now I'm going to do something risky. I have my offset spatula, then I have my chocolate, which I'm just going to pour directly on top of the cake, like that. And let gravity choose its path. If I used chocolate ganache, it might have turned out a bit better, but using pure chocolate actually kind of worked. So next I am taking some non-Perel, I think that's how you pronounce it, and they use a little bit of this on their cake, so I'm just going to shake this right over the top of the chocolate. Now these aren't the regular non-Perels, these are Easter color that my grandma gave me. Thanks, Grammy. And I think they match the cake colors perfectly.
I piped little dollops of the excess frosting from the bench scraping portion of the cake decoration, and then I put these little tiny meringues that I made just on top of it. So this is the final product. I really liked the way it turned out. However, I would highly recommend using a ganache instead of pure chocolate for a more seamless finish. Please go and check out Crumbs Doilies, which was the inspiration for this cake. Thank you!